Questions. Record on the cloud. Wait, what cloud? Okay, perfect. We're recording. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Madison, for meeting with me. I really enjoy your time. And I know this is a little bit, a la Zoom, a little bit different than in person, but this is the COVID asterisk, so we're doing our best. And so essentially, I wanted to ask you a few questions, primarily about your tower experience. And I feel as though Tower is one of those small hidden gems at SMU. A lot of people don't really know what it's about, and if they have heard of it, they still don't really know what it really entails and how much of a fantastic program it is. So I want to kind of take you back to, I guess, around freshman year. And what were your expectations coming in to the Tower Scholars Program? And now that you've been almost all the way through it, how were those expectations met, exceeded, and or changed?
That's a great question. Thanks for just taking your time out of your day and wanting to hear a little bit about my experience. So, I was initially drawn to the Tower Scholars Program before freshman year. I went to an SMU event and someone that was speaking was a scholar. And just hearing a little bit about what the program was, they didn't go into details, but just talking about how there was this minor in public policy and international affairs, how they got to study abroad through the program, and just some of these neat opportunities that he was talking about interested me. And so the Tower Scholars Program was actually one of the reasons that I wanted to come to SMU. So I knew off the bat that I wanted to apply for the Tower Scholars Program. And I had done a little bit of research. I actually knew one of the Tower Scholars. He went to my high school, and so had a little bit of background knowledge. But I had this expectation that it was just going to be a few classes that were geared towards public policy, and there were opportunities through that, maybe like possibilities for grants to do research or study abroad. I had no idea that this program would bring people into my life that would become lifelong friends. I had no idea that this program would set me on a trajectory for what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Political science, public policy, whenever I was first entering the program, was kind of just an interest. It was what I was studying, something that I thought was fascinating. But because of all of the experiences combined, I've realized that I want to use this knowledge and go on to law school. I want to use this knowledge and actually affect change through public policy. So at the very beginning, I knew it was going to be a fun experience, maybe a few classes, maybe some cool opportunities, but I had no idea that the personal impact it would make on me would be so great, I guess. And it's just been a wonderful experience overall.
Well, if I wasn't already psyched about Tower, I definitely am now. And so
Great.
I guess kind of going off that, my next question kind of hits on points of that. So, I really thought the exact same thing of, okay, I'll have a few specific classes, I'll meet some people, there'll be some resources, whatever else have you. But I've already started meeting some amazing people. And so my next kind of question was around what are some of your favorites? I know it's hard to pick just one, but some of your favorite tower memories. And now hearing about kind of meeting these lifelong friends, I feel like some of them might be revolving around that.
Yeah, for sure. So, my number one favorite experience was the trip to Washington, D.C. We went with Ambassador Jordan, and it was just a phenomenal experience. Obviously, from the educational aspect and just learning about public policy through hands on experience was great. But you really become such close friends with the people that you're with for those few days. And you get to go and see Washington, D.C. You get to see, put in perspective the things that you've been learning about the past 3.5 years. And to do that with the people that you learned those things with just puts a special touch on it. And so you become even better friends with those people while you're in DC, and you make fun memories. It's a wonderful time. And I think maybe that is probably the number one favorite memory for a lot of people. So, picking another smaller favorite memory, I would say would probably be the time that I went to the opera through the towers. Through towers. And so I went to the opera, and that was my first time going to the opera, and I went with one other Tower scholar, and we had a blast. I had always wanted to go to the opera, and they offered tickets, and I was like, I want to do that, and it was completely free to the Tower scholars, and so that's just I think a small glimpse of some of the fun little things that the Tower Scholars program offers to nurture both some of your academic side, but also to nurture those friendships. And while we were at the opera, we got to network with some people and have a great time. So you have my big favorite memory, Washington, D.C., but also a small little glimpse of the other things that Tower Scholars offers as well.
I love that. I'm a big opera guy, so I'll have to wait for those ticket emails to come up and I'll have to snag it. That sounds amazing. So I guess kind of my last question is now that you are a sage, a wise, almost through the tower program, what advice would you have given yourself as a freshman coming in, still at SMU and everything,
Yeah.
to not just perhaps utilize the tower program and like you said, the resources, the relationships, all of the fantastic experiences, but in a broader sense, if there was something through tower that also affected how you interacted with and tried to utilize SMU and the hilltop as a whole.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say don't just focus on friendships with the cohort, but recognize the powerful relationships that exist with your professors. You have an amazing set of professors that have real life experience in the settings of public policy. And to get to know them on a personal level is very special, but also they are there to help you. They are there to help you in whatever way that they can. And I think that I've really recognized that those relationships are powerful because this semester, as I'm applying to law school, two professors are actually writing my letters of recommendation. And they were so more than happy to do it. They were excited for me, offered me advice, and just went above and beyond in that experience because applying to law school can be a long and nerve-wracking process. And so just to have those relationships there was very special. And that's what they want to do. I think that that makes the Tower Scholars program very unique in that the cohort is small and so that they can build relationships individually. And my advice would be to utilize those relationships. Don't be afraid to ask questions of professors. Don't be afraid to just ask to meet up if you want to meet up for coffee or a Zoom call in this age, whatever it may be. Just harness those opportunities because they extend beyond the four walls of that Tower Scholar class. And as I mentioned, I have two of them writing law school recommendations for me, but I've also talked to several of the professors about research opportunities through my years in the Tower Scholars program. And so there's so many interesting opportunities that you can take advantage of through the program. And the professors are so excited to always help you. And they're just an abundance of knowledge that they hold. And so take advantage of all that you can with those relationships. That would probably be my biggest piece of advice.
I think that is fantastic advice, and that is the kick in the butt I need to attend all of those virtual office hours and virtual coffees as he makes his oat milk latte and I make mine at home.
Yes.
The fantastic relationship building exercise. Well, thank you so much, Mattis. It's been such a pleasure to meet an older member of this new Tower Scholar family. I wish you well in your law school application process and eventual journey. And thank you so much for meeting me over Zoom.